Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. The Solidarity Trade Union blocked the streets of Warsaw today. Employees of state-owned energy producers are concerned about the future of their professions. They are complaining about the lack of dialogue in the fuel and energy sector, especially in the energy and lignite industries. They are motivated by violations of labour and trade union rights, the fear of losing a large number of jobs due to the transformation of the entire energy sector, and the expectation that European Union policy will bring an end to Poland's energy sovereignty and increase energy costs. The demonstration began at Świętokrzyska Street in front of the headquarters of the representation of the European Commission, where the heads of the largest trade union centres in Poland took the floor. Trade unions do not like the fact that Poland is closing its mines under pressure from the European Union, while other countries continue to earn much from coal. This situation is unacceptable. That's why this is a warning to the European Commission. Hands off the Polish economy, the Polish worker. We live in a country, a republic. We are not a colony of the German state. Let the government sit down and start negotiations. If they don't, then hundreds of thousands of people will end up on the streets. We demand a social agreement. We demand a discussion. A permanent lack of social dialogue in our country. This is what hurts us today. At the end of the rally at the intersection of Jasna and Świętokrzyska streets, a delegation of trade unionists submitted a petition to the European Commission to stop the judgment of the European Court ordering the liquidation of the mine in Turów. The protesters then passed before the Ministry of State Assets and Development. If we arrive at a situation that our government and the EU are now proposing, then we'll be importing more energy from abroad than produced here at home. We are not prepared for such drastic actions. We simply stand for workers to have places to work. It is not that they're closing only the mine, but also the power plant. It's about 4 to 7% of national electricity energy production. We want the country to develop, right? That's what this is about. After the meeting with the demonstrating trade unions, Deputy Prime Minister Jacek Sasin declared that the changes would not be introduced without dialogue and social agreement. The protest ended in front of the Prime Minister's office, where the demands were filed. The tense situation on the border with Belarus means that the internet accounts of Polish politicians are under attack. The latest addition to this series is the attack on the account of Michał Dworczyk, a close associate of Prime Minister Morawiecki. On his wife's Facebook account, there was information about a break-in into his private mailbox and a link to the stolen documents. There was nothing confidential there, but the case worries the experts who point out that the trail leads to Russia. Michał Dworczyk has published the following statement. In connection with the reports of the hacking into my email and my wife's mailbox, as well as our social media accounts, the relevant state services were informed. Considering that the information was published on the Russian social network Telegram, and the fact that I was banned from entering Belarus and Russia for 11 years as a person actively supporting democratic changes in the former USSR, I treat this attack as one of the elements of extensive disinformation activities containing falsified and manipulated information. I would like to emphasise that there was no classified, proprietary, secret or top-secret information in the hacked mailbox. I also inform you that the statement that was published on social media on my wife's account is fabricated and contains false content. It can be said with certainty that the purpose of this type of cyber attack is disinformation, and therefore the relevant special services of the Republic of Poland will carry out all necessary investigative actions. Newsweek opinion editor Joss Hammer and Polish-American journalist Matthew Termont sat down in Warsaw with Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki, who criticised both the Biden administration's 180-degree turn on the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, which will transport natural gas from Russia into the heart of the European Union, and White House energy policy to date. The Polish Prime Minister said, "We are very disappointed in Poland about the recent change of the position of the United States, in particular because, over the last couple of years, we have worked hand in hand with the United States administration to stop or slow down the development of Nord Stream 2. And it was only recently that the American administration changed its view on this with false hopes that this will help to repair relations between the US and the European Union. Well, Germany is not the European Union. Germany is Germany, and they have their own interests, and it so happens that their interests are quite aligned and on the same page with Russian interests." We return to the developing story of the Solidarity Monument in Warsaw. On Friday, 4th of June, Rafał Trzaskowski, Mayor of Warsaw and Deputy Chairman of the opposition Civic Platform Party, unveiled the monument that resembles the logo of the Solidarity Trade Union. This organisation supports the government's policy and considers the monument a violation of their copyright to the logo. Warsaw City Hall argues that this is a symbol of the struggle for a free country. Today, the Solidarity chairman, Piotr Duda, reiterated that he would try to demand the rights be observed and will sue Warsaw City Council for the infringement.
Already in 1980, Mr. Janiszewski said that he was handing over the logo to the union because for him it's obvious that this is the logo specifically for the Solidarity trade union. We don't only keep it for ourselves, like I said before, we grant rights to it to documentary or feature film directors for them to use it. But to get these rights you have to have certain principles, and for others these principles are written in the statutes in the preamble, and so they include Christian values and the social philosophy of the Church. If someone is hyping themselves up like Mr. Trzaskowski here in front of the monument, then he should understand that this logo, this symbol, carries with it certain values.
Staff at the zoo in the Polish town of Płock first noticed the sound, but not the sight, of 2 Siberian tiger cubs born in late April. Keeper Małgorzata Czyszczynska said it was only when the staff noticed the cubs' distinctive meowing that they realised they had been born.
The breed is part of the European Endangered Species Programme, making the cubs' birth that much more exciting, Czyszczynska said. The cubs are now big enough to fight playfully with each other, and the brother is already larger than his sister. A competition will be held by the zoo to find names for the new arrivals. Zoo director Krzysztof Kelman said that the birth of the animals for the first time in Płock Zoo was a huge success, with the possibility of increasing the numbers of the species through a breeding programme. The main reason why zoos exist is to breed rare animals that are endangered in the wild. So when such animals are born, it is a huge success for any zoo, because this is how they can protect the animals. The Siberian tiger cubs that have been born for the first time in the history of our zoo are the most endangered subspecies of tiger. There are only several hundred of them in the whole world. So it's a first birth and a huge success. We now have a tigress nursing 2 cubs, a pair that we hope will be able to breed. There are only a few hundred Siberian tigers living in the wild, Kelman said. According to him, over the last 2 years, 23 cubs have been born in 7 zoos in Europe. Over the past 2 years, Siberian tigers have been born only in 7 European zoos. Altogether, there were 23 cubs born.
That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.